All right, we're
Hi,
live.
Patushka.
Hi.
Here we are.
Yes, finally.
Finally, finally. Okay, but that's part of it, right? Just
hmm
the tech stuff and everything. We're used to it. It's not a big deal. Can still see a
Exactly.
smile. We're just swimming through it.
Exactly. Technical issues happen, especially when we're launching, so it's part of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All
So,
right,
shall,
yeah, let's
yeah?
just start. hmm
Okay,
Do you
great.
do you hear me okay? Do you see me okay?
I see you fine. I hear you fine. There is a slight little echo. I don't know where it's coming from, but I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, it's probably me. Let me see if I can. Is that better?
Yeah, I think it sounds good.
Slightly?
Yeah.
All right. Let's just welcome everyone because we're like 15 minutes behind
Mm-hmm.
schedule. So, welcome. Um, this is masterclass number 4, and we're very excited to have you with us today. And today we're going to talk about the 5 action steps to take to set up your launch for success. So, this is our final masterclass. Crying a little bit. This class is going to last for 1 hour at most, and you'll be able to ask questions at the end. We also have something special that we want to talk to you about at the end, but for now, we're going to have a great time. And I'm sure there are people, everybody's settled now, I think. And don't hesitate to ask questions in the chat function or let us know that you're here.
Mm-hmm. Perfect, Patushka. So, welcome everyone. Hi again for this final masterclass. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Well, today it's going to be all about 5 action steps that you can set to really propulse your launch and to make it a success. Now, the way that we've built these master classes is to make sure that we laid the foundation and then build upon each of them to arrive at what today could be called the culmination of everything that we've talked about. So in previous master classes, we talked about the myths of launching. We talked about what you had to avoid when when you're launching. We talked about the 5 most important things about launching. And so this final masterclass is really going to give you the tools that you need to step away from this and be able to get started with your launch. But so, Patushka, why don't we get started right away? And why don't we put all of these things that we've learned so far in the previous weeks together and tackle the 5 action steps that they can take?
And while we were preparing this, there's actually a lot that goes into the steps. So the first step, the first action step is we're going to talk about what your launch plan actually looks like. We've talked about this in previous master classes. So if you haven't seen these master classes yet, number 1, number 2, and number 3, you can go to launchingwithlove.com/masterclasses and check those out after this class. So your launch plan has a number of important pieces or components to it, and we're going to talk about a few that are necessary for your launch. So I want to kind of go into the 3 components that I see for a launch plan, and that's the launch calendar or timeline, your content, and then your marketing or sales funnels. So now we're talking really marketing, and we're using those terms because that's what they are. So first, your launch calendar or timeline is where you're going to lay out everything that you're going to do during your launch and actually put them beside dates. When are you going to send your emails? When are you going to have your sales page ready? When you're going to open the cart? When you're going to close the cart? When you're going to contact those partners that you want to involve in your launch? Every little piece, if you can, put a date attached to it and, look back to see, am I going to have time to do this? So this actually helps you put it in reality and put it in your life by putting it in a timeline or a schedule. So that's one of the pieces that I love to actually lay out. The second part of setting up your plan is your content. So everything that you need to create that is going to be part of what the meat of your launch, if I can put it like that. You know, your email copy, the email text, social media copy, your sales page, your videos, your audios, your freebies, all of this, that's part of your content. So, you know, laying it out, making sure that you have time to create those. And then the last piece that I want to talk about for this is your marketing, your sales funnels. That is the piece, you know, how are you going to sell or promote your thing during your launch? So that's the piece that you have to think about, your Facebook ads, your webinar content, not just the content, but the different webinars, your guest posts, articles, interviews that you're doing out there that's going to bring other people to you. Anything else that is part of your marketing funnel should be part of this third section. Of course, there are other things that matter. There are other things that are very important, but I think that with these 3 things down, you'll be on your way to a very successful launch. What do you think, Muriel?
Yeah, Patushka, I absolutely agree. I think that those are so actionable. That's what makes them so interesting and so important. So the plan, the content, and the marketing or sales strategy. You know, if you have those down, you're already halfway through the battle. And I think based on what we've done in masterclasses 1, 2, and 3, that's really the culmination, because we addressed some of these points before, but we never really put them together the way we've done, the way you've so nicely done just now. So, you know, before moving on to action step number 2, how about we give our audience a little bit of information about who we are and how we got into this launching business. Do you want to go ahead with that, Patushka?
Sure. My name is Pat. Milia likes to call me Patushka because that's my real name. Online calls me Pat. I'm a launch and a leadership coach, and for the past 8 years, I've helped 100 of business owners launch programs and set up online business systems and earn more money by just being online and launching programs online and interacting with their customers online. So right now, my business is twofold. So I work with businesses and partner with with clients on major launches, and the other piece of my business is actually the coaching and leading new coaches to do the same for themselves. I love helping women uncover their mission and thrive as leaders, and I feel that launching and coming out, like I like to call it, is part of that process.
Yeah, and you know what I really love about you, Patushka, because we were having a little bit of tech difficulties before the beginning of this masterclass, and you know, our mastermind is really launching with love, right? And what is so beautiful about you and the work that you do is that you really walk your walk and talk your talk. So we were having issues, but we were remaining really calm and serene and, you know, very happy and fulfilled, and we were just solving the issues that we had. And I think that is really what helps to make a launch successful, and something that you embody so beautifully. So I really love that about you.
Thank you. We have to roll with the punches. That's what it is.
It's true.
Just get moving.
Absolutely.
So, introduce yourself to everyone the ones who are coming here for the first time.
Yes, so I am a life and a business coach, and I also like to call myself a do-good mentor and a soulful entrepreneur. I have businesses of my own, and I have a background in business. I've been in business for many years. Now, as a life and a business coach, I'm really specialized, and I've made it my mission to help multi-passionate women to overcome anything that blocks them from getting into action and really realizing the project that they want to realize. or live the life that they want to live, or do the things that they want to do. And so these could be personal goals, they could be creative projects, artistic careers, world-changing businesses. It can really be anything. And my passion is to get that kick-started or reignited. I also have a particular interest for compassion and self-love, and a strong belief in the benefits of putting yourself first. Now, how did I get into launching? Well, when I started my own online endeavors, I really needed to learn everything that I could learn about doing this myself, about launching my own products and my own services myself. And so that was a really long and interesting learning curve for me. But eventually I really got the hang of it. I really started to understand how all these pieces fit together. And together with you, Patushka, we started to talk about it, and we started to really, lean on each other and support each other and exchange a lot of wonderful insights about what launching really is. And so that's where this passion and the current project that we're involved in really emerged and come from.
Yes, and one thing that I love about you is that you know the power of, sisterhood and leaning on, letting someone lean on you when they need the support, not just for, life stuff, but especially for business. Because it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy to be able to coach someone to, and this is what you do for your life, that's for sure, to coach someone and to bring that person to where they actually want to be. So this is something that I really, really appreciate of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're all sisters. So, we might as well lean on each other.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to action step number 2, the minimum tech that you need for your launch. And, when we hear the word tech, well, not you, Patushka, because you're the queen of tech, but everybody else, I know everybody's holding their hearts and thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen now? But the thing with launching, and something that a lot of clients come to us with, is this idea that they have to have everything down, have a million tech things going on to be able to have a successful launch. Now, the thing is, most of the time, that's just not true, and they really don't need that much. In fact, you could get started with practically no budget and only 4 things that you need. The first one would be a sales page, because, of course, you need a place online where you detail exactly what it is you're offering, and you have to give your potential clients a possibility to either sign up when your cart is not open, or to actually buy from you when the cart opens. Now, there are many landing page options available online, because that's what you're going to use to create your sales page. And some of them are even free, or have free versions. There is instapage.com. There are many others. You can Google them. Just if you Google landing page, and you'll find a lot of them. The second thing you want to have is mailing software. Now, because you want to grow your list during your launch, because this will be your number one way not only to communicate with your potential buyer, but also to get them to a place where they're actually ready to buy, or where they get all the information that they need about your product or service. Now, there again, you can have free versions of that. There is MailChimp. There are many more. You can Google it, and you'll really find so many different options. We really like MailChimp. For the launches that we do, that's what we use. And instapage.com is a really cool landing page software, and it's also one that we really like to use. Then you might consider webinar software if you plan to offer webinars, or Google Hangouts, or another video software that is free, actually, because Google Hangouts can just be used like that, and that you can start using right away if you're going to offer live events, or if one way or another you want to be visible to your audience and you want to offer them some video or some audio and video recording. And then finally, you want a payment system. Because if you have your video software, you're doing your webinars, you have your mailing list, you have your sales page, At the end of the day, you want to have a button there that allows people to buy your product or service once your cart is open. And there you can start with something like PayPal, again, that you can sign up for free for. Now, we have to be honest, PayPal does take a fee, a percentage of sales, so it's not entirely free, but you don't have any upfront costs. There is no monthly recurring cost. You're just paying whenever you're selling something, which in a way is a good thing. You know, exactly. You're making money, and so then you pay. Now, that's all you really need to get started. And in all fairness, you could, right after this masterclass, get on with your launch, sign up for those 4 different services or the services of your choice, practically for free, if not entirely for free, and you could start with your launch on a very small initial budget. So, you know, there are really creative solutions for everything, for all of that. And the more creative you are, the more you can launch on a budget and with limited tech. Now, what's your take on that, Patushka? I know that you have a lot of experience with tech launches.
Yes, I totally agree with you when it comes to technology. And I think that because I have a lot of experience, I tell people not to worry about it at first. You don't have to worry about everything at first. And I love that you broke it down to 4 things. That's it. You don't need more than that. And you can find them at the beginning. You can use them for free. So for me, that's what it is. As long as you have your plan, the technology just feeds into it. Yeah, because that's what it is, technology. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not be afraid of it, right? It's not rocket science in the end. It's not that, it just requires you to stay calm and just, you know, get over that first initial learning curve.
Exactly. And you know, having a lot of experience with, you know, playing with technology online, which is something that I used to love to do a lot, and I still do. The one thing that I always look at is what, like, in the end, what do I really need it for? So that you don't go out buying everything, because some people do that. They start launching, or they think about launching, they go on a buying spree of everything, and sometimes the same thing. And then knowing what things are really for. Because people don't actually, for example, some people buy multiple systems for their sales pages when they don't know this is the same thing that you're getting. So making sure that you're reading it, you're doing your research, and you're you know, asking questions to people that you know that understand technology, so that you don't buy a lot of the same. Yeah, and you know, being open to learning new technology, and making sure that you know, it's simple and not being afraid of it. Yeah. Keeping it open.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just jump into action step number 3, how to create a communication strategy that is authentic. And that's one of our favorite subjects, authenticity, and showing up in online business and everything. So that's exciting. So authenticity in business, especially online, has become very, very important these days. I like to say that it's an incremental process in the past few years. And in the last years, we've seen so much talk about and discussion about being authentic in business and why that matters. So the number one reason for this is that people buy from people. I don't know in which masterclass I was saying, because I had an experience, or an epiphany, if I can call it like that, where I realized that my business was supported by people, standing on people. You know, without people, nothing's gonna happen. So the more authentic you are, the more you are yourself, the more you learn, the more people learn to trust you, the more you show up as yourself and say how you can help people and how you cannot. That also is very, very important. How I can help you, and how that's not, I can't help you there, here's another person, or here's another thing. And the easier it will be for people to buy from you when they know where you stand, who you are, if you resonate with them or not. So it's also easy to fall into the trap of doing what other people are doing. And we've talked about this also in a previous masterclass. But it's important to remember that everyone is different, that people are attracted to certain people for something, and they're attracted to you for exactly what you have. So, coming out as yourself, you're not gonna get the same people as that other person that you see that you wanna, that you wanna do the same thing as them, but you're gonna get your own people. So you shouldn't be afraid to show up as who you are, because this is really what speaks to your potential clients. Because they are meant for you, especially if you're a coach or a creative entrepreneur. You wouldn't want to be matched up with, it's like, going somewhere and being matched up with a roommate. Like, that happens in college, and you don't know the person. But if there was a way for you to communicate with that person and you being authentically yourself, when you get there, they're like, oh, okay, this is exactly the person that I know. It's just the same way as, with your prospect or your client. You're doing that dance and you're launching and you're kind of wooing them. And if they get there and they're like, this is not the person, it's kind of disappointing. It's, so it's in your best interest and in their best interest to be as authentic as yourself as you can. So the way to be authentic in your communication strategy is to, especially online, because the way that we appear in person and the way that we appear or come off online is totally different. So you have to work on it. You have to, kind of massage it and be able to show up as yourself even when you're online. So one thing you can do is speak with your own voice. Say things that you would say normally to them. Don't be shy from showing your personality in your communication and your emails and your social media posts. I'm sure Muriel, she works on it a lot, and I do too. And the way that I speak, I try to kind of write the way that I speak so that when people read it, and sometimes it really doesn't make, sometimes you do have to, fix it for grammatical errors and things like that. So don't go overboard. We're trying to write as you speak, but it's a good way to start when you just write as you speak, and then you can massage it into something that's readable. That's a good thing that I like to do. Another tip is for you to show up as yourself, not just in your communication, but in your talks, in your webinar, in your events that you'll be doing during your launch. Be yourself, don't try to put on a suit for your webinars. And if that's not what you wear, if that's what you wear all the time, that's cool. But if that's not what you wear all the time, that's not going to be of service to you and your customers in the future. So showing up as yourself, being yourself. And remember that we're all human. It's okay to make mistakes. Technology break, like we said at the beginning. We had a super hard time coming on this webinar because technology did not want to be our friend today. And it's okay to express that to the people who are coming on with you on your launch. And usually, the thing that I've seen, especially right now, is that people want to have a relationship and to buy from people that they see they could be with as friends. They could be with, in a normal conversation. They could tell, this is the problem that I have, can you help me? Because this is basically what they're saying. So you have to acknowledge that it's part of a process and to communicate with your audience or your potential client when you feel you need to. So it's not just about, trying to get them engaged into your what you're trying to sell, but it's trying to get them engaged into who you are. So Muriel, what do you feel about that? What do you think is important for people to know so that they have a communication that is more authentic online?
Well, all of these points were great, so I really agree with all of them. And I think what you addressed at the end, and especially the fact that you have to show yourself for who you are, I think that's really important. And it's even an asset if you can share a little bit of your personal story, and you can share a little bit of, you know, your life. Like today, it's so easy to do, you know, with Instagram, and then with Snapchat, and then with all the other options that are out there, to offer a little insight into your life to your potential customer and to the people that are interested in what you're selling, because eventually that's what they're going to do. They're going to buy from you. So either they like you or they don't, and you know, in order for them to make that decision and to see if you can solve their problem and to see if you're a good fit for them, they have to really get these little things that allow them to get to know you better. So I really agree. I think it's a beautiful list, and I think it's really, really important to be authentic.
It's not just about showing people that you can do what you can do, because there are so many people who do what you do, and you know, people buy from people that they actually like and they actually trust. And this happens, you know, in everything. This happens in everything. The other day, my daughter got accepted to, I don't know if it's high school in the States, but secondaire. So she's 12, so she's going to start.
Okay. High school, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it was a really big thing to look for a school that we as a family can belong to. So it's not just about the learning. It's not just about, you know, what are they going to do for my daughter for her to advance, for her to get her degree and things like that. It's we want to belong to the school. We want to have our values are matching. What we know that they're going to teach her, you know, we're going to teach her too at home. So for me, going to them and making sure that, okay, you know, they show up as authentic as they can be, and I can match that and be like, okay, this is where I belong. This is who can help me with this. This is who I can buy from. I can pay them every month to teach my daughter. So it goes beyond just, you know, marketing and things like that. This is something that really is, as humans, we want to see, we want to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's really so important. And also, you know, it's so much easier if you don't have to follow anybody else's example, if you don't try to be something that you're not, if you don't, it just makes everything so much easier. So, but it's a process, right? Because at the same time, launching means becoming really visible, and becoming really visible is not an easy thing to do. It's not easy. And it's not because you don't want to be authentic, it's just because it feels so awkward. Right? So that's the beginning, but you have to get through that. Anyway.
Yeah, and masterminding helps getting through that, because I'm thinking of you know, me talking to Muriel about, you know, social media posts and how, you know, kind of visible I feel and kind of out there. And usually you feel out there, visible, but not everyone sees you really. But, you know, it is a process, like you're saying, and having support, having, you know, people who know and can guide you is a really big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's so nice about, you know, just a mastermind and sisters working together on their launches, but we'll get to that in a minute. How about action step number 4? How to start and even end your launch without a product created in advance. Now, that's a really, really important one. In action step number 2, we talked about the minimum tech that you need to be able to launch, right? That's 4 things. That's all you need. Now, we want to address the fact that when you start out with your first launch, and even by the time that your launch is ending, you don't need to have created your entire product. What you need is a structure and the basics of that. And we know that this is something that a lot of service-based professionals think they actually do need when they start out. You know, like a fully created product, everything there, and as long as it's not there, they're not ready to launch. You know, that's one of the things, and the myths that we addressed as well. You know, all of these things that can keep you from launching, which are just beliefs, but they're not really true. And thinking that you have to be so ready is going to bring a lot of stress and a lot of hard labor with it as well. But the thing is, what you need to have is, as I said, an outline of what it is that you're going to offer. You don't need to prepare everything in advance, but you have to make sure that you have an idea and that you have a structure. And of course, a way to deliver it. So you have to have an idea of, okay, this is going to be lessons delivered by email, or I'm going to have a platform online where people are going to get videos from me, or I'm going to have a mix of things, or it's going to be through a website. So that is something that you do need to know. But not having everything ready in advance is, in my opinion, a good thing. At least that's how I look at it, because you cannot know everything from the start about your potential clients, or about the way your launch is going to go, the kind of feedback you're going to get. So leaving things a little bit open and being flexible and ready to pivot when you need to is really an interesting way to approach it. And my experience has been that preparing everything in advance, which I have done in the past on a few different occasions, still meant that I had to go back to the drawing tables and I had to change things at a later stage anyway. So now I feel that I'm still fully prepared, in the sense that I have my outline, I have my big ideas, I have my basic material, I have my welcome packages, I have everything that I need in order to be able to launch, and I go from there. And the result is less stress, no double work, and a better product in the end, because I've had time to pivot and I've had time to change or address the feedback that I got from my clients. Now, how about you, Patushka? How do you prepare for launches? And what do your clients usually do? Because, you know, I know you have a lot of launching clients as well.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I feel that there's an echo.
Yeah, let me unmute. You should unmute yourself on your phone. I've muted you on the computer. I think that's going to be better. Can you unmute you there?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, but it's not good. Let me wait. I can't. Okay, so Patushka?
You hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay? Yes, everything's fine.
I'm on my computer. It did not work on my phone.
Okay, no problem.
So, hey, we're here.
Yes.
So yes, you know, I have a lot to say. What I know is that it depends on what you feel comfortable doing. Some people want, and I'm going to preface that by saying that most of us want to have everything created and then launch. And it's not necessarily realistic, because everybody has different lives and you might not be able to get to the end, and that might stop you from launching, like Miuya says. But for me, the best possible thing you can do is have a bit of it created. Mm-hmm. At least have an overview of what your program is gonna be or product is gonna be like. And when I say program or product, if you're selling a physical something, it's probably better for you to have it prior, but it's not necessary. Not necessary, because you could do a launch for something that's coming up. So that's fine. But yeah, it doesn't need to be all created. It doesn't need to be all existing before you launch it. Actually, it's your launch will teach you a lot of how you can position things and create things that's specific for the people who buy. And that's something that I love to see my clients do and to do myself. When, you know, you're going to a launch and you're learning more and more about the person who's buying, and at the end you can definitely tweak or change things to fit that person even more. So you don't need to have everything created. You just need to have the beginning, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now with physical products, it's true,
you don't really need to have them in advance, although it's really preferable. But when you don't, that's what you see on platforms like Kickstarter or
Exactly.
crowdfunding platforms. That's really what that is. That's launching a product that they still need to create. So that just speaks in favor of the fact that you don't have to have everything all done in advance. But I agree with you, Patushka, just for your peace of mind as well, especially when you're going to a longer program or something like that. It's always interesting to have the materials for a few weeks in advance created, or that you're going to be able to create more content at a decent and fairly easy pace, instead of having to rush yourself into doing that. So definitely, absolutely.
Awesome. So this brings us to our last action step for our final masterclass, and it is another another fun subject. Another thing that we like to talk about is how to make your launch fun. And some people might be like, okay, launching is not fun. Launching is business. Launching is hustle. It can be. It is. But you can also make it fun. Like, we can make anything fun in our lives. Muriel and I strongly believe that a launch should be fun. Not that it can, it should. And that there's no need to make it more stressful than what it already is. And we talked about these points before, and we really want you to make that point again. You can have a fun launch. You'll be overwhelmed at times. But that doesn't mean that you have to make it a bad experience. So it's all about making it the experience as you want it to fit in your life, in your business, so that it's not something that you never want to do again. So that's something that I see with my clients a lot. And if you make it launching a big, dreadful, horrible thing, you will not want to do it. That's just normal. Nobody wants to go through that. And our mission is to help women launch in a fun, loving, and positive way, so that they can actually make money and have fun and work. Because work is launching in business can be fun. So how do you make your launch even more fun? So we have a couple of tips for you. And the first thing is not to sweat the small stuff. Small stuff, meaning, technology breakdowns, meaning an email that didn't go out at that exact time, meaning, and I feel like I'm talking to people, but I'm not. Let me not say that. The second thing is to prepare everything. You prepare your what you're going to say and your webinars in advance. Prepare, lay it all out so that you can see where everything fits. The more prepared you are, the more big picture you can see. And that's what we mean by being prepared. Now, we're not meaning being overly protective or not, analyzing every single detail or making a plan that has, 100 different steps. We're talking about if you can see the big picture, if you can see where everything fits in a big level. That's a really good way to be in your launch. The third thing is not to do it alone. That's something that I've learned because I personally, if I do a launch alone, I will never finish. It's going to be forever in the air. So, I know myself to know that not doing it, and I'm sure everybody has different reasons why they shouldn't do it alone, because other people give you, that accountability, not just, people who support you, or people who work with you, but just saying it to someone else. This is what I'm doing from when to where. It just helps you come out of yourself and your beliefs and actually stay in action. The fourth thing is to take breaks. Make sure that you rest. Make sure that you eat, proper food. And that was gonna be my last thing, but I'm just gonna mix it all up. Take good care of yourself. Try to keep your routine. I love to have a meditation routine in the morning, and making sure that I do that makes me sane and normal and lovable to people. So I keep that. So let's keep that in. So, taking good care of yourself, making sure that you rest. One thing that because right now we're launching, we're in the middle of our launch. We're very happy. One thing that I've realized is that I kept checking things on my phone in the middle of the night like a crazy lady. So I just plug my phone outside now at night. I don't go. Amelia is probably going to tell you because we're in different time zones, and she would think that I'm asleep, and she texts me something just so I could see it in the morning, and I answer. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Sometimes it looks like you're always awake.
Exactly. She's like, "What? But isn't it like 2:00 over there?" But I've realized that if I see, the light from the phone when someone texts me or someone sends me an email, what is gonna wake me up? So because it's in my face, so I put my phone outside. That way, it doesn't wake me up, and I'm not tempted to go in. And in the morning, I wake up, I do my meditation, and I'm happy, even in the middle of a launch. So that's what makes me happy. That's what makes it fun for me. I have clients who, even in their launches, they incorporate fun stuff. I have a client who incorporates videos where she makes, dancing videos where she dances and throws it up on as part of her launching material for people to see her have fun. And people actually love that, to see her, every time there's a sale that comes in, she makes a video of her dancing with her baby, and people love that. People thumbs her up all the time. So that's, for her, that's fun to share that with everyone. So you can find whatever is fun for you and incorporate that in your launching process. What are your feelings about that, Maria? Because I know you have strong feelings about it too.
Yeah, I really think that it's so important. Having play in your life is really important, not only in launching, but when you're doing something that can come across as so serious and so much business, and this is very important, and because it's connected to money, and it's connected to income, and it's connected to what you want for yourself and your business, sometimes we forget that it's important to play as well and have fun while we do it. And so yes, all of these points to actually make it even more fun, they're all so valid. I totally agree. And the one that for me is the most important one, and this is not because we're gonna start the mastermind really soon. It's just because it's really what I strongly believe is that you don't want to do it alone. You don't want to do it alone because it's just so much nicer to share your successes, which is the first one, but it's also so much more powerful to be able to share your moments of doubt and fears and your breakdowns, and when everything's going wrong. And I don't want to scare people off, because that's not the majority of the time. The majority of the time is pretty much okay, but sometimes it happens, or you're afraid, or you don't know how to show yourself, or you're not sure you should put this video up. And when you have sisters with you and other people that are in there with you with their beliefs, as you so beautifully put just now, it's so much easier to do it. And so to me, that's really one of the ways to make it super fun. Just get people in there with you and just enjoy the process. Okay.
Yes.
So this was the fourth and final masterclass in the series.
Yeah.
Time flies by, doesn't it? It does. It does.
Yes. Yes. It goes by really fast. But it's not over.
No,
it's not over yet.
It's the end of the beginning. Yeah. So we are about to launch or start, because we're actually already launching, our Launching with Love Mastermind. And everyone who's here with us today is invited.
Yes.
The doors of the mastermind only open on May 1st, which is not so far away from now, but still there's a couple of days to go. But you can get in early. Because we want to give everybody who's been on these master classes with us the possibility to get in, because the spots are limited.
Yes.
Not everyone will be able to join. We want to make sure that we can offer the best support throughout the 6 months that we're going to be working together. So we start on May 1st. It's going to be for 6 months. And what's going to happen is that Patushka and myself, together with you, are going to get ready to launch a product or service by the end of September or the beginning of October of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And during the time that we're going to prepare all of that together, we are going to talk strategy. We're going to put the calendar together, the timeline. We're going to get a list of all the assets that you need, make sure you have all your content, that all of that is ready. So we're really going to prep you to have the best possible launch by the end of this year. And the thing that's so great about this is that we're actually going to do it together with you. Patushka and I, we want to launch as well. And we have some really crazy and interesting plans for the things we want to do later this year, right, Patushka?
Yes.
And so we are going to prepare that alongside with you. So you'll not only get everything that you need to be successful, but you're also going to be able to see how we do things, and we're just going to be in there with you and implementing everything alongside you, just the way we would for, you know, a launch we would do without the mastermind.
Now, like Maria said, the spots are limited because we want to keep it to you know, pretty small size number of women who are interested in being in this mastermind, because we want to have an eye on everyone's project and be able to support them accordingly. And although the doors officially open next week, so since you've been you know, with us during this whole process and, you know, looking at all, watching and participating in this master classes, you can enroll today. You can go to bit.ly/launch mastermind and sign up right now if you wish. And I also wanted to make sure that you know that there's a cost to the mastermind, but we've kept it to a minimum of $150 a month for 6 months, because we wanted to work with coaches and creative entrepreneurs who are, even if they're not at the beginning of their business endeavors, but they are, you know, at least 1 or 2 years in starting out and trying to figure this out. They probably launched before, you've probably launched before, but it wasn't quite what you wanted for your project. These are the people that we want in the mastermind. People, you know, we want people who are able and who want to, you know, get to the next level right alongside us. Because this is, if I start talking about all the masterminds that I've been on, all the masterminds that helped me and, you know, what it did for my business and my life, I would never stop. And Juliette would be like, stop already. Because even this morning, I was actually, this mastermind finished a while ago. Me and my sisters for this mastermind, this morning I had a call with them, and we were talking about, you know, different launches. We were talking about what we're up to, and we've been done with this mastermind for 6 months, I would think. And everything that everybody's gone on and doing what they do, and, you know, continue with their businesses and stuff like that. What I've realized is, even though, you know, you're done with the mastermind, you come out of it, you keep those relationships, you keep the network, you have support even when you're not in it anymore. You have support, you build those friendships. So for me, that's really something that's important, to build friendships with people who understand what you're up to when it comes to business, what you're up to when it comes to growing as a human being, as a woman in business. So for me, that's very, very important. So yeah.
That's so beautiful, and that's so true. That's what masterminds do for you, right? These becomes friends for life, and some of them become really close, and it's the connection doesn't go away like that. The connection really stays with you.
And this is a lot of people who've never done this online or virtually before. They might think, okay, how is that even going to happen? The connection. But by putting together, you know, live calls like we've done, like making sure that everybody has a place where they can talk to each other within Facebook group, or we have a group called Slack also. You know, we made sure that there are two different groups where you can interact. And if you feel you want to interact outside of the group with your mastermind sisters, you know, one that you really connect with and you want to, you know, hop on the phone with her, that really makes a difference. So it's what you put in it, you get out. That's what I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. And all these tools are ready for you, and you can use them. And the more you use them, the more you're going to get out of it. So we're going to have that too, right? We have a Facebook group. We have weekly emails. We have our very own Slack channel. We have the launching material. And then every 2 weeks, there's going to be a call. It's going to be either Patushka or myself or the two of us together that are going to host group calls where you can ask all your questions and where we're really going to discuss, you know, at what stage of the launch we're at and what the next steps are and what we have to do to move forward, and really help anyone who has any issues or any blocking factors and get all of that out of the way.
And then at the beginning, also, we will schedule individual calls where we can meet for 30 minutes so that we know your project, because for me, that's really important to know. What are you launching? What are you doing? You know, how do you think you're going to get there? You know, all the goals, and kind of set the tone. So this is going to be a 30-minute individual call so that you set the tone and then you're ready to build upon that.
Absolutely. So that actually concludes this masterclass. So what we really want to say is, everybody, go to the masterclass sales page and make sure, Patushka, I don't know, can you maybe paste that in the chat, or give everybody the right link, and then make sure to enroll if you want to be in this great adventure with us, because we are going to start soon. We're super excited. This is only the beginning of what's going to be a wonderful, wonderful 6 months. And we actually can't wait to welcome you and have you on board with us.
Perfect. So I'm going to put the link to the sales page in the chat function. And you, if you're listening and you're not in the factory function, you can go to bit.ly/launchmastermind, and you're going to go directly to that.
Okay. Right. And we're going to email everyone as well, right?
Yes, we are going to email everyone and make sure that you have the replay. You're going to get also your notes for this class, because for me, I love putting together those nice little PDFs and for everything we talked about today, and, you know, a link to our sales page.
Perfect. Wonderful. And that concludes things. So any final words, Patushka, before we end this masterclass series?
This has been really a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun. Yes, it has been a lot of fun. At first, I was like gonna be able to like do it every week, but it's been really fun. It's been something that I've really enjoyed sharing, especially because I love launching so much and the strategy and online business that I love sharing all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I had so much fun as well. And, you know, we're just, this vibe is what we're going to keep up in the mastermind. And we're just now so excited to welcome everyone next week and to get started.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much,
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.